This weekend, I mean, of course, I'm going to be nervous, and I am nervous for this weekend, but that's just because I'm nervous about the unknown. I've done everything that I can.
One shall not be defined by how others perceive him, but by how he chooses to respond to adversity. For Prosper High School wrestler Isaac Cordy, the road to his state title is filled with more than just a few roadblocks.
I've worked my tail off since last wrestling season. I've been working so hard. In the gym every morning, whether it's weights, cardio, before the wrestling workouts, and then I go to school and I have my wrestling workouts during the wrestling period, and then I have wrestling practice after school. So I'm confident in my abilities. I know that I've done everything that I can do. I've dieted correctly. I'm strong at my weight, and I feel prepared, but I feel nervous at the same time.
Some 40 miles north of Dallas sits the budding town of Prosper, next on the hit list of an ever-expanding North Texas urban sprawl. It's 6:45 in the morning in February, and temperatures have barely climbed above freezing. But for one ambitious wrestler, neither the dark nor the cold would stop his steady march towards redemption. Isaac Cordy is a senior wrestler at Prosper High School. After ending last season with an injury, Cordy returns to the mat more determined to reach his goal of winning a title. Wrestling is one of the fastest growing sports in Texas that takes perseverance, ambition, and determination.
His very first match ever in his life got beat pretty bad, got pinned by a kid. Went out into the hallway, threw his headgear through the fit like a 2-year-old, big fit. And we hear his name being called, Isaac Cordy, mat number 3, Isaac Cordy. And his dad says, Isaac, you got to decide, are you a wrestler or not?
And it was a wrestler that he became. Wrestling throughout his high school career, along with balancing being a member of the choir and juggling schoolwork in an already jam-packed wrestling schedule.
If I could describe it in one word, I would say balance. Balance is super important. Wrestling, you can't just let that take over your life. With people, you have to have a balance of tenderness and aggression. You have to be able to get your point across, but you also have to know when to be more tender.
And what ties this balance together is one thing: family. Family plays a huge role in Cordy's life, doing whatever they can to help him succeed, from making homemade protein bars to cheering him on at his matches. One member of the Cordy household, however, hasn't seen Isaac wrestle in over a year.
I think the biggest memory that I'll keep with me forever from wrestling is wrestling with my older brother. He lives in South America right now. And let's see, today's February 5th. He's been gone for 16 months. He was my best friend. And when I got to wrestle with him my sophomore year, that's my favorite memory, because we went everywhere together. We went to school together. We went to Bible study in the morning. I was the 132 and he was the 138, so I wrestled before him. He would be cheering me on, and then right after my match he would go. So my favorite memory is just wrestling with him every day.
After a season of rebuilding his body and strengthening his mind, Cordy began a steady drop to his desired weight class.
Beginning of the year, I weighed 170, and so I wrestled 160 for like a month, and I decided I was going to work my way down to 52, and I finally got down to 52, and I wrestled there, and I felt strong, but then I was thinking about it some more, and I thought that, I can make it down to, I think I can make it down to 45. So I started my cut, and 4 weeks later I was down to 45. I wrestled a dual and dominated at the dual, and then wrestled at a quad. and did really well there too. So I feel strong and feel confident that I'm going to do well at 45. It's tough. I haven't weighed this. I weighed out at 144.5, and I haven't weighed that light in over a year.
Cordy was the heavy favorite coming into the first two matches. He came out slow and allowed for a sliver of hope to climb into his opponents. Cordy kept it as that, a hope, as he shut down his competition after settling in.
Hey, good job. Thanks, buddy. 2 down. Tough match coming up next. I'm excited. I feel good. I'm glad that one ended pretty quickly so I can focus. Get ready for my next one. It's going to be a tough one. But I've wrestled him before. I wrestled him last year. He's a good wrestler, but there's nobody in my bracket that I can't beat, so I'm ready.
Cordy faced one more roadblock on his way to the championship. Joseph Kim, a tough opponent from Liberty High School that Cordy has faced before. Kim came right out of the gate, dominating the match, with Cordy unable to find his footing. He found himself down after the first 2 periods, with one more left to decide his destiny. Cordy came out possessed by the motivation to get to the finals and started to take control of the match, but it proved too little, too late as Kim took the win and the hopes of a championship for Cordy.
I'm not discouraged. One more loss and I'm out, but that one loss isn't going to happen.
Saturday, February 7th, 2015, Day 2 of the District Championship.
These are called my Savage socks.
Intimidators. Face.
Yes, they intimidate.
Cordy came back with one thought on his mind: redemption. After suffering a heartbreaking loss on Friday, he had to win out to keep his dream of a state title alive. If there were any naysayers after the devastating loss, he quieted them, winning his first match sure-handedly. This left him with one more battle to decide his fate: the consolation finals. A win would place him in third, enough to move on to the regional tournament and living to breathe another week. In a very telling match, Cordy obliterated his opponent, exposing his weaknesses, getting the fulfilling victory that locked his place in the regional tournament.
On to regionals. Gotta treat my back, make sure my ankle's good, and get back to work, get back on the grind. Had a pretty good tournament, but you can never be satisfied with any matches. So just on to the next one. I'm happy.
One thing holds true with Cordy: he is always looking forward. He still has a long road ahead of him before the state finals, but with his drive to win and his strong support from his family, he is well on his way to paving his path to the podium.
You never know what every day is going to bring, so you kind of have to do your best every day. You have to balance your life. You can't let anything take over your life, and you have to have good relationships with people, and some people are gonna like you, some people aren't, but you just gotta stay true to yourself.